Hey everybody, what's up? Well, E3 is here, and lots of people are anticipating more information on Fallout 4. This video is not about Fallout 4. This is actually something different that I wanted to do. I wanted to make a video explaining why, in my opinion, you should play the original Fallout games, and I consider that Fallout 1 and 2. This is not going to be a review of either games. I already have reviewed Fallout 1 and 2. Links will be in the description. I'm just going to talk about it and explain, why you should play it if you haven't before. And these are all my opinion, of course. So let's get started. Fallout 1 and 2 are considered by many people to be some of the greatest CRPGs, if not some of the greatest games of all time. I can't say everyone thinks that, but that's the opinion that I've seen shared by many people on many websites, forums, etc. And I can agree with that. Why? Well, let me just explain. I'm not going to go 50 minutes into this. I'm going to try to make it brief, but try to give you my opinion, because I do want you to play these games if you haven't. I think it's always good to go back to the roots of a franchise and play them. In any game, it's important for the player to be immersed in the world. It's important for the game to set you up really good into the universe, the world, whatever you're playing. And I think Fallout 1 and 2 do very good jobs in this aspect. Let's talk about the intros, because it's the first thing you see when you boot up the game. And let's talk about Fallout 1's intro for a little bit. It starts out with you seeing some crazy shit on a small old television, but the camera slowly zooms out with the song playing in the background, and that song is Maybe by the Ink Spots. Very good song for this intro, very good choice for the soundtrack. It starts zooming out slowly and slowly. You're seeing all this fucked up shit on the TV, and when it finally zooms out, the TV stops, and you see a desolate wasteland behind it. That is a great way to set everything up. Then the famous quote comes, War never changes. And it goes on from there. It's a great intro to start off with. It's a great way to get you involved in the world. And one thing that I like is that they don't tell you flat out who the antagonist is. They don't even give you a hint. In Fallout 1, the intro sets up the game very well. And they don't even give you a hint on who the antagonist is. Let's start with the story. Let's just talk about it for a little bit. Now, this is not a spoiler. You literally find this out in the beginning of the game as soon as you make your character. You're from a vault, and you have to get a water chip to save your vault. That's it. They don't tell you there's some big bad enemy or this grand mission. It's very simple. Get a water chip and come back. It does get more complex than that, though. I'm not going to explain it, but what I love about the story in Fallout 1 is I think it builds up very well, and when you finally reach the end, when you finally get to the climax of the game, I'm not disappointed, because it's not just some huge, you walk in there, bang bang, you got to fight them, and that's it. There's a dialogue, and I'm not going to say who the antagonist is. If you want, play the game or look it up on YouTube. But there's, like I said before, it's not just running in there, killing them, and leave. There's a dialogue. And the dialogue that you get into with the antagonist, I love it. It's deep, and you get into his head, and you figure out what he's talking about, and he explains himself, and that's what I love about the dialogue. It's a conversation that you have with the antagonist. It's a conversation you have with someone that it's fight or die. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the story in Fallout 1. Now let's move on to Fallout 2. Fallout 2 is different from Fallout 1. They went in a different direction. It takes itself less seriously, more pop culture references, but it's a much bigger game. And in my opinion, Fallout 2 is much harder than Fallout 1, especially in the middle. In Fallout 2, instead of coming from a vault, you come from a tribe. I really like that. I really liked what they did with Fallout 2. It's a different direction, but I enjoyed what they did. It's a bigger game, more fleshed out companions, and it's harder. It's definitely harder in my opinion. So here's 2 tips that I will give you for each Fallout game. Number 1, energy weapons are your friend. You'll thank me later. And number 2, do not take unnecessary damage. Use your AP points to attack and move away. Attack and move away. I'd rather attack someone once and move away than try to go for 2 attacks and take unnecessary damage, because that's not good. 2 basic tips. I hope they help you out. Now, some people might be wondering, since they haven't played the games yet, are they hard to get into? Are they so outdated that it's impossible for anybody that's, into newer games to get into? I'm going to say no. it's not outdated to the point where it's almost impossible to play. It's easy to use the interface. It's not the best interface, but it's definitely not hard to use. It's an isometric RPG that may not appeal to some people, and that's fine. But the game is certainly not hard to get the hang of. I say if you put about 1 or 2 hours into it, that's most people should get the hang of it by then. It only took me like 2 hours, I believe, of playing it seriously. But it's definitely not hard to get into. You just have to understand the combat. You have to understand a turn-based role-playing game. You have to understand that you can't just try to attack everything all the time, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, you're weak. So if you try to just kill everything, you'll fucking die. Sometimes you got to run away, and sometimes you have to take a while in a fight because you have to attack and move back, so you don't take unnecessary damage because you don't have a lot of stim packs or anything like that. So that's the only thing you have to understand. You have to be patient in this game. And Fallout 1 and 2, patience, that's the way to go. Now, another great reason why you should play Fallout 1 and 2 are the soundtracks. They were composed by Mark Morgan, and they're fucking amazing. Some of the best music that I've ever heard in a game. They fit the game so well, Fallout 1 and 2. And the songs that they used for the intros, one of them was, I believe the song in Fallout 1 for the intro was Maybe by the Ink Spots, and the song used for the intro in Fallout 2 was a song by Louis Armstrong. They fit so well, so great composer, the perfect choice to make the music for Fallout 1 and 2. He did an amazing job, and you should at least check out the soundtrack on YouTube. Well, everyone, I didn't want to ramble on for too long. I wanted to make this short, sweet, not too short, but I just wanted to let you know why I think you should play Fallout 1 and 2. And those are my reasons. I think Fallout 1 or 2 are great games, and I think that they deserve to be played, especially for people that are into the Fallout series. If you're into the Fallout series, you should definitely check them out. Watch a playthrough on YouTube, look up the soundtrack or whatever. But that's my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to, but that's just my opinion. I just want to show some love to the original Fallout games. And if you want to see more in-depth review on Fallout 1 and 2, I'll leave the links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.